Soften your senses. Ways to become a better speaker, listener, and follower.
This episode brought to you by Power Selling Pros, bringing customer service training and coaching to you. Learn more at powersellingpros.com. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us once again on Did You Know, the Institute-HVAC podcast. So we're spending some time with Brigham Dickinson, the president and founder of Power Selling Pros. How you doing today?
I'm great, Cliff. Thanks for having me.
You know, before the show, we were having some conversations about like soft skills and training, and we want everyone to know that we're really here to help you understand ways of communication. That's really what it comes down to. So many people will say that, with COVID, relationships have died and customer service has died. And that's not really so. I think so many people have set it on the shelf and not picked it back up. And so you're very much leading an effort to help people understand those communication skills and what it takes to be able to become a good communicator with our customers, because we all really are servants to our customers.
Right.
No matter what capacity, or whether you're an educator and your customer is your students and your local contractors, whether you're a distributor and your customer is your contractors, whether you're a contractor and your customer is your customers and your employees. We all have communications that we don't always focus on in our industry.
Right.
Sadly enough.
What's interesting about what you initially said, that, the idea that customer service has died after COVID. Well, if that's true, that's great news for us.
It is.
The reason why,
opportunity.
The reason why is because the consumer expectation is low.
Yeah.
And if you can knock their socks off, it's from the very first phone call. My gosh, that's going to change everything for you.
The dynamic is massive. The opportunity is massive.
Yeah. So we both know that the customer experience is alive and well. There's just less people do it. Now, it didn't help us that during COVID, we were bombarded by phone calls, right? We were actually doing them a favor by picking up the phone.
Right.
Right. And we got, let's be honest. We got lazy, right?
I think we did.
It was easy.
Yes.
It was easy, right? Comfort advisors, man, they got all the attention.
Yes.
We kind of, all the technicians were like, oh, they're calling him money man. There goes the money man. Well, the truth is
killing it.
Yes, the truth is that it was easy. It was easy because everybody needed it.
Yeah.
Everybody needed it, and they needed it right now. They're spending more time at home. Their systems were breaking down sooner than they were supposed to. And guess what? When people are uncomfortable, they pull out their checkbook.
Absolutely. And IAQ is at the forefront of things, which we didn't talk about a ton before. We might have brushed on IAQ, but we didn't get into the whole comfort advisor and the environmental impact that we can do as HVAC contractors. And now, man, that's mainstream. People are hunting for those options.
Exactly, because they're spending more time at home.
That's it.
I mean, you said yourself before the podcast that you're working on your own house that you want to be at.
Yeah,
absolutely. And you want to make sure it has all the bells and whistles, all the latest technology.
I want it. I see what it can do, and I hear about it all the time. And I'm like, if we can do this, well, let's talk about this. Okay,
so we could admit that it's been easy. Okay, it's been easy. And then towards the end of last year, things started going south, right? For whatever reason, call volumes are down. They're down about 20% nationwide, and everybody's kind of concerned about it. Well, it reminds me of the time, way back when in 2008. The last time things, hit the proverbial fan. Customers were calling in and they were saying, hey, I just want a ballpark price. And nobody knew what to do with those calls.
Right.
And they call and they say, hey, I just want to talk to a technician. What is this? Is this like it never happens, right?
You want free?
Yeah, exactly. What do you charge to come out?
Yeah.
$10. Yeah, that's outrageous. Right. Yeah. Whereas before they're like, it's $5,000 to come out. Great. Fantastic. Can you come out today?
When can you get here?
It didn't matter. Can we finance that, by the way?
Right.
And
what's
we're rolling.
Interest rates these days? Because
exactly. So those calls always came in. We just didn't spend any time on them because we knew that the call right after that was going to be a much easier call to take. And so we just kind of We just got lazy. And you know what? It's just kind of the nature of the beast. So now these types of calls are calls that we absolutely need to book, because guess what? Those are the only calls you're getting.
Right. That's so
People
true.
are tighter with their money. And so right out of the gate, why don't I show you a quick way to book those types of calls, just so that everybody listening can get some value out of that. Does that sound all right, Cliff?
Yeah, man, let's do it.
Okay. So the customer gets on the phone, they want a ballpark price. What they're really saying is, because you're thinking, okay, this is a price shopper.
Right.
Whenever a price shopper gets on the phone, they're not necessarily shopping for price. They believe that price is the only thing that sets you apart from everybody else.
Oh, okay.
So that's why they're asking about price.
Yeah.
They don't know that it's between you and the next guy aside from your price. So whose job is it to show them that there's much more to this than just the price?
Everyone at that company.
Yeah, but initially it's going to be
that
the CSR.
First call. Yeah. That first person they encounter.
Exactly. That person picks up the phone. By the time they get off the phone, the homeowner needs to see a huge difference between the company that they're talking to and everybody else that they've already talked to.
Yeah.
So what we need to do is we need to take care of that customer's emotional need. Okay, so we both know that emotion drives the selling process. Yeah, logic justifies, but emotion drives it. And so what we want to do is take care of that customer's emotional needs. Now, what are their emotional needs? Well, they want to feel understood. They want to feel cared about. And they want to feel reassured that they've called the right place. So you've got to take care of those three emotional needs first. Okay. Now, if you can take care of those three emotional needs first, the rest of the call, it's easy. Right, it's fantastic. Right. Okay. So let me give you one way to apply showing that you're listening, showing that you care, reassuring that you've called the right place. You do it in the first 30 seconds. Okay. Customer gets on the call and they say, hey, I'm just looking for a ballpark price. Great.
Hey, Brigham. Hey, Brigham HVAC. I'm just checking to see what kind of prices that you guys have on equipment. What's the going rate today?
It's a great question. Who am I speaking with?
My name's Clifton.
Hey, Clifton, I'm Brigham. Glad you called in. Nice. Is there a system that you've got that's not working? What motivated your call today?
Yeah, I think our system's about 15 years old or so.
Oh, so you've gotten some good life out of it.
Yeah, and it just doesn't keep up as the way that it used to, and things are getting tighter. I've heard that equipment prices are going up and that refrigerants are going away, and I'm just needing to get a ballpark of where you guys are on prices, so I know what I can do.
Gotcha. So you've got no faith in your system right now. It's done. It's kaput. There's nothing you can do for it. You pretty sure?
Yeah. And I really hate to buy window air conditioners, but
well, look, we can totally help you. When would you like us out to take a look at your system and to determine the right system size?
I'm working from home these days, so I'm pretty available. It'd be nice to get something going, to at least have an idea soon.
Okay. Well, let me get your contact information and let's look at the schedule together.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
So now we're rolling, Clifton.
Man, that didn't take, you're right, about 30 seconds.
Yeah. So look, our goal is to listen. And one of the best ways to teach a CSR how to listen is to talk to them about the movie Grease. You ever watch the movie Grease?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Great musical. Everybody loves it. There's a song there. It starts with "Tell me more, tell me more."
Yeah.
And funny thing, whenever I bring that up, every CSR I talk to starts singing. See, you're out here humming it. Exactly. Tell me more, tell me more. So I have them write it down, right? I have them write it down. And next time a customer gets on the phone and says, hey, what do you guys charge to come out? Well, tell me more about your situation. What's going on?
Right.
Because it really depends on the situation. Now, if they want to replace their system, there's no charge. If they want to fix their system, there might be something associated there with us coming out. Right. But either way, I need more information. Truthfully, it's not me putting you off or throwing things to the side. It's more about me learning more about your situation. Okay. So I've got to understand first. If I sincerely show you that I want to understand, whether it's through tell me more, or what's it doing, or how long has it been doing that, doesn't matter. If they feel sincerely that you understand, that changes things for them emotionally.
Yeah.
Okay. And then after that, I simply go, okay, well, so as soon as you explain to me what it's doing, it's been around for 15 years. You're like, oh yeah, it's just not working. Man, it's brutal. I get you talking about the situation itself. And you're using words like unfortunately and so on and so forth. And I know I need to get it replaced. And I really don't want to do it, but You see, I'm getting you to that point where you're a little bit vulnerable. And that's what I want. I want to show you that I care, right? Did you feel that I cared?
Yes, absolutely.
And then I just simply reassured you that you've called the right place.
Validation.
Yeah, you've called the right place.
Yeah.
Okay. Essentially what I'm saying is you belong here.
Yeah.
You belong. You're in the right place. Okay. It's safe. It's comfortable. All right. And as long as I can create that environment in the beginning of that phone call, I simply ask, well, when would you like us out? Why? Because you feel understood, you feel cared about, and you feel reassured that you called the right place. You're good. So emotion drives, logic justifies.
Yep.
Okay. So that's what we want to do with those types of calls. Hey, I just want to talk to a technician. Great. We've got a lot of those. Let's make sure that we're sending out the right one. Tell me more about your situation. Yeah. Tell me more about your situation. Yeah. What's going on? Well, it's doing this. It's doing that. Oh my gosh. How long has it been doing that? Last couple of days. Okay. Well, we can help. We can help with that. When would you like us out? Oh, this afternoon would be good. And you'd be surprised how many times, even in a role play, when I'm sitting down with the CSR, in the beginning, I say, I want you to be as mean as you possibly can.
Right.
And I get into it and they go, oh, I can't do this. Why'd you stop the role play? She's like, well, because I'm not this kind of person. Well, what kind of person? Oh, well, I'm not mean. Why do you care why do you care what I think? He said, well, I'm not a mean person. Exactly. You like me. You like me. And it makes it very hard, even in a role play, to be angry, disgruntled, or mean.
Wow. That's pretty basic, fundamental. I mean, but impactful.
Yeah. So if you can take care of their human emotional needs in the beginning of the phone call, you're going to have a much better chance of booking that call, wowing that customer. But they've got to love it, right? They've got to own their process. And so what am I teaching? I'm teaching the pattern for excellence.
Right.
Okay. So the end goal is to create a wow experience for the customer. And the way that you create that wow experience for the customer is you follow 8 principles. I teach positivity because you got to have it.
Yep.
You got to have a positive attitude from the get-go. It's contagious. So is a negative attitude. So be very careful. Always check your attitude at the door before you pick up that phone, metaphorically speaking, right? Uh-huh. And so after that, you got to have a willingness to listen to your own phone calls, because we don't just teach people how to answer the phones. We're monitoring their calls on a regular basis, and we're coaching them one-on-one twice a month using their own phone calls.
Oh, wow.
A lot of training companies out there that will tell you what to do and then leave you to your own devices. We don't do that. We teach you what to do, and we teach your team what to do, and then we go in and provide the accountability over time. So we do it for you. All right. We provide the accountability over time for you. It's 4 levels of certification. It takes about 1.5 years to complete. But by the time we're done, they're booking calls, they're wowing customers. We're making sure that when the CSR books that call, that they're the only one. The company is the only one going out to the customer's home. Yeah. Exactly. We're teaching them how to sell service agreements. Here's what's so important about this, Cliff, is that if I can help a CSR realize that if they spend the extra time in the beginning of that phone call, listening, caring, reassuring, if they do that first, you'll find that the call takes half as long. The reason why is because usually when we get on the phone, we're saying things like, well, where are you located? And have we worked with you before? And let me get your address. You see, I'm taking.
Right. You're actually feeling isolated. Yeah.
Exactly. And you're also creating concern. Like, well, if I say, yes, I've worked with you before, do I get better service? If I say no, does that mean you're not going to help me? You're only working with existing customers. You know what? Wow, you're creating, right. If you ask for my address, or you're already if I'm not in your service area, am I wasting my time? Right. You're creating concern right out of the gate. You're taking as opposed to giving. So before you take information, you've got to give your attention. Give your attention, do it for 30 seconds. Trust me, even if you book the call, at the end of that call, the customer's going to say, so about my system, it's not working. And I'm not sure that, they explain the situation because they're not sure they're feeling understood. Feeling is the key word there. Mm-hmm. Right. They don't feel cared about. They don't feel like they've called the right place. They don't feel like they belong. Their emotional needs aren't being met. And that's why that call takes 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, 9 minutes, as opposed to 3. Give your attention first. You see, with people, fast is actually slow.
Yeah, I've actually heard that quite often. And it takes a while to understand what that actually means.
Yeah.
It truly does.
Yeah. So that's our goal there.
I love that. I love the approach. One thing that you had mentioned was, that you're you're actually going back and you're spending time one-on-one with people, replaying their conversations. And I get this question quite often. "Hey, how are you so comfortable speaking?" I'm like, because at some point I got tired of hearing myself, because I was recording and listening to myself, and to the point where I got comfortable hearing what I was saying. And so that's what you're doing. You're helping someone learn a skill set of communication by listening to themselves, making corrections, and then hearing those changes along the way. You're doing a mentorship for CSRs. And
Yes. Yeah, look, and usually a CSR doesn't get a lot of attention. Usually the only time they get training is if their business owner walks by them and hears something he or she doesn't like.
Right. Yeah.
And now it's a punishment.
Yeah.
Right. You hire us and we're already behind the 8 ball. Oh, Powers Lane Pros is coming in to fix us. Apparently we're not good enough.
Right.
Right. And we've got to wade through that. Instead, training your CSRs, coaching your CSRs on a regular basis should be a part of your culture.
I think so. So
if you know in your heart of hearts that you're not going to do it, then hire somebody outside, hire a third party, somebody who's competent, somebody who knows what they're doing, and provide that accountability and that attention to them. If nothing else, it's cheap therapy.
I'm just sitting here thinking, you're providing a lot of service to people.
Yeah.
Really.
And they just need that. Look, there's a reason why people exercise more than once. There's a reason why they go to church more than once. They go regularly. They exercise regularly because they need it regularly. Well, that's also true with them having a chance to sharpen the saw, listen to their own phone calls on a regular basis, and get feedback and coaching and be able to practice during that period of time. And if they've got a great connection with their coach, man, you'd be surprised at what they can do. So here's what I teach a CSR. I say, look, as soon as you begin to do these things, right, you're going to have the opportunity at the end of that phone call to say, hey, Mr. Jones, I'm looking at your notes and I noticed you don't have a membership with us. I'm wondering why not. Now, let's say you get 30 phone calls a day and 20 of those calls are like, I'm good. We're good there. And that's fine. All right. No, we're not going to push it. But let's say that 10 were to say, oh my gosh, well, what's that all about?
What is that?
Exactly.
What are the benefits?
Yeah. And then let's say that out of the 10, 2 actually do sign up right there over the phone. And let's say that a CSR gets $10 per membership and they sell 2 a day. So now we're at $20 a day. $20 5 days a week is $100. Now, there's 52 weeks in a year. Let's say that they're working 50 out of those 52 weeks. 50 times 10, add 2 zeros, you got $5,000 a year.
Right.
Okay, so you've just changed everything for that CSR. Now that CSR has control over their own income. They become more self-reliant and they sit in that seat longer. And you don't have as much turnover because you've given them a way to make their own money. You're training and incentivizing them to perform at an extremely high level. Look, your technicians shouldn't be selling memberships anyway.
Right.
They should be selling zoning. They should be selling indoor air quality, all the other things that we were talking about before this podcast started. That's what they should be doing.
Absolutely.
So the CSR's job is to provide the technicians with opportunity. That's their job. Their job is to keep the board full. If calls are coming in, great. Book the call, wow the customer, make sure you're the only one coming out. If calls aren't coming in, you want to create the culture for them to be motivated to call out. So if they're being taught and compensated for selling service agreements on the inbound phone calls, what do you think they're going to do if the call stops ringing? If the calls stop coming in, they're going to call out, talk to some customers and say, hey, why don't you have a membership with us?
Right.
Why? Because they've realized how easy it is on the inbound calls. So you've got to create that culture inside the office. Now, once the expectation is set, well, then your goal is to do the same thing with technicians. I don't know if we've got time to talk about it, but
let's dive into it. This is great. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Okay, so with the technician, you'll notice, by the way, that I don't use the word sales.
Right.
Okay, the reason why is because CSRs and technicians don't want to be in sales. They don't want to feel like car salesmen. However, they do want to do a good job.
Yeah, they want to provide solutions.
Yes, and so all you want to do is create a picture for what a great job looks like.
Right.
So whenever I'm in front of technicians, and Cliff, I probably fly out this time of year twice a week with business owners. And on day one, I'm training the CSRs to set the expectation for what we're looking to hear over the phones before we begin the coaching process for them.
Right.
And then the next day, I get in a technician uniform and I'm going out on ride-alongs with techs.
Right.
I do an hour training in the morning, and then I begin to teach technicians throughout the day. Now, in that hour training, it's very simple. And it doesn't matter how early it is, Clifton. It doesn't matter if they've had coffee or not. I ask one question to wake everybody up. And this question is only for technicians and not for CSRs. You've got to know your audience. Mm-hmm. But for technicians, I simply ask, guys, how do you get kissed on the first date? And you'd be amazed at how often a technician begins to sit up in his chair, I get eye contact. I get people pulling out their pencils. They're ready to write down something really important. Now,
great opening.
Yes. Even if they're married, you and I know they haven't been kissed in weeks.
Yeah.
So there are three things you need to have a very good chance of getting kissed on the first date. Okay. The first is to create an environment of comfort, right? Yep. If your date does not feel comfortable, you're not getting kissed. Okay. Number two is they've got to feel safe. If they don't feel safe, guess what? You're not getting kissed.
Right.
Lastly, they need to have just a little bit of fun. Okay. Just a little bit of fun. In this environment, you have a very good chance of getting kissed. Now, at this point, I'm counting on a smart alecky technician asking me, saying, so you want us to kiss our customers? No, I do not. I do not want you kissing your customers. However, I'm glad you brought it up, because I do want you to create an environment of safety, an environment of comfort, and make sure they're having just a little bit of fun in that environment. Don't you think? In that environment, you're not just going out to do the thing you've been called out to do. You're taking a look at the entire home. Why? Because they feel safe, they feel comfortable, they're having fun. You're a homeowner. Right. In that environment, you have the opportunity, the freedom to get curious about what's going on inside the customer's home. And you're going to notice things. You're going to notice things like smoke detectors hanging from the wire, and you're going to see water heaters that are a little bit older than they should be, and they're probably going to break down any moment. You're going to see leaky faucets. You're going to see toilets that don't flush. Mm-hmm. You're going to see it, right? You're going to see bathtubs. The water goes up a little bit, and they wade through water every time they take a shower. You're going to see these things, and as you see these things, because they like you, they feel safe, and they're having just a little bit of fun, right? They feel comfortable. They're going to say, oh, will you please fix that while you're here? Oh, will you please fix this while you're here? Well, and don't you think that is great customer service? You see, when we are curious about what's going on inside the customer's home, and we provide options based on that curiosity, and then we simply get to yes or no. Just get to yes or no. You provide the option. They say no, fine. They say yes, great. Either way, you're going through and you're providing a phenomenal customer experience. And at some point during this, they go, wait a minute, you don't want me to sell? Did I say anything about selling? No. Did you say about selling? Who said anything about selling? Nobody said anything about selling. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to create an environment of safety, comfort, and fun. Happens to be a buying environment. In that environment, you have the freedom to be curious about what's going on inside the customer's home. You provide options based on that curiosity, and you simply get to yes or no. That's all I want you to do.
I'm sold.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a wonderful conversational item.
Yeah. And so they ask, okay, well, Brigham, how do we create safety, comfort, and fun? I'm so glad you asked. We have this really cool tool called the Pattern for Excellence. And I go through and teach them that Pattern for Excellence. And I do it in an hour.
Wow.
So when I am done, when I go through customers' homes, I mean, we're crushing it. There's always something in everybody's home. There's probably something in your home where a plumber or a heating and cooling tech can come in and find it, fix it, upgrade
right person's getting the work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so if you are there in the customer's home on a date, metaphorically speaking, where it's okay that they're still around. It's okay that you guys are talking all along the way and you're pointing things out and you're saying, hey, you see what this does? Well, let me show you something real quick. And then let me open this. You see what's going on there? You see what's happening there? And as you are, things come up. Things go, geez, my son, he does suffer from allergies. He does. Well, there's so much that we can provide here. Let me show you.
Yeah, the static's horrible in here. The wood's cracking.
Yeah, here's where we'd put that UV light. You see right above here, and we'd put it right there. And I'm not even a technician. Okay. When a homeowner says to me, I'm right there with the technician that's been there for the last 20 years. The homeowner says to me, man, you're a great technician. And of course we walk outside and he's like, dude, you're not a technician. I know I'm not a technician.
Here you go. Now it's your turn.
So yeah. It's a lot of fun when you just make it as simple as possible. Every technician I know wants to do a good job.
True.
They want to do a good job. And even though they don't want to sell, okay, if we're just hitting them, sell, you know what? You might as well be talking to a wall.
Yeah, you're going to lose a technician.
Yeah, they don't want to do that.
Right.
They want to do a good job. They want to go home at night, feel good about what they're doing.
Yep.
All you need to do is show them how to do that.
Wonderful. Brigham Dickinson, Power Selling Pros. How do people connect with Power Selling Pros?
Yeah, so just go to powersellingpros.com. POWERSELLINGPROS.com. There is a link right on the front page of that website where you can click on a demo. Basically, schedule a demo. You'll get it right on our calendar. And we'll talk about your needs, your CSRs, and your technicians. And our goal is to build a long-term relationship. And the last thing we want to do is give you one more thing to do. We actually want to take something off your plate. So if you know your CSRs need ongoing coaching accountability, let's do it. If you know your technicians need ongoing coaching accountability, let's do it. We look forward to working with you.
Awesome. I appreciate your time, and I look forward to some deeper conversations on this.
Let's do it. Thanks.